Hi everybody, and welcome back to Trump MAGA 2024. And make sure you like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. So this is the 2020 map on the 2024 election map. In terms of electoral votes, Donald Trump would have 235 electoral votes. Joe Biden would have 303 electoral votes. which would be a three electoral vote increase for Donald Trump. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. This is probably Trump's worst case scenario. He is up in the polls in Georgia, and in Arizona. He's up in the polls in Georgia and Arizona. By more than 5 percentage points. Still, you can look at this, and you can go. You go state by state. Arizona, you have to let's see. In Arizona, he's leading about. In Arizona. He has a surprisingly commanding lead of 4.5 percentage points. He is close to 50. 50%. And in Georgia, he's up, and he's point. Yeah, a second. And in Georgia, yeah. He's just below 50%, and he leads by 4.5%. It's 4.2%, close to 5 points. Now, looking at this map, he would be at 262 electoral votes. And would be in a very good position if he's able to add more to this column. Now, it's true, he leads the polls in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and that is all very true. But still, let's say he were to fall short in them. But he got the state of Nevada, where he leads in the polls by over 3 percentage points. He hopes to be the first Republican presidential candidate to win a silver state since Bush in 2004. That would put him at 268 electoral votes. A little bit of problem, despite him flipping the 3 states, is that he's 1 electoral vote short of preventing Joe Biden from getting an outright victory. Now we're going to talk about what happens in a tie. I done several over the years, but the bottom line is that this is a relatively plausible election map, and Republicans would fall short simply because of the fact that Nebraska is not a winner-take-all system. Nebraska is a proportion system with the electoral college. It does not exactly make sense. Why that is the case, and is a state that is why that is the case. Anyway, controlled by Republicans, yes, they are. The legislature is nominally nonpartisan. but they just got a majority today. Actually, because a Democrat switched over to a Republican, which would give Republicans basically full total control of the state within even bigger mandate to enact changes, and is a problem because that second district around Omaha is blue. And even if it goes right down ballot with Don Bacon, who's basically a rhino at the presidential level, it's going to be very difficult for Donald Trump to win that district, especially given trends. Don Bacon himself might not even win it. And so, what does this exactly entail? It means that things need to change, and things very may well be changing. Governor Jim Pillen from Nebraska came out in support of a legislature bill, which would make the state win or take all this absolutely huge. This absolutely huge, because what would this do? It would give the extra district and Nebraska over to the Republicans, and that would mean that Donald Trump would tie to Joe Biden at the electoral count, and that means that the House of Representatives, the new House, would decide the election. Now, Republicans currently control 27 state delegations in Congress. To the Democrats, 19, and is very likely they're going to gain a delegation instead of losing delegations. If they flip Alaska, which is possible, guess what they would get? Alaska into their column, because keep in mind that Republicans could lose the House, but the House doesn't vote in terms of one voting member per district. They vote as the state delegations. Democrats have only 19 in Minnesota, and Democrats had 19. Minnesota would not vote because it's tied. Republicans could flip Michigan. There's a couple open seats there. Pennsylvania, if they would basically get Pennsylvania, if they get a seat in Nevada, which if Trump wins Nevada, they possibly could well then the Nevada will be a split delegation. They could win more than one, and they would get the delegation. And in regards to Maine, if they flip Maine's second district and the congressional race there, and then they would have Maine be a non-voting state. So Republicans would still have an expanded lead there. There would be no way that Joe Biden will be able to stay in the White House. And because Republicans likely are going to go out there and win the Senate, Republicans would have the VP slot. And so I'd be to be trans running mate selection as well, and that's why voting down ballot is important. I do know that some people are upset with the GOP. I'm upset with the GOP establishment as well, but still, Trump Republican with the Republican Congress is going to be a hell of a better than Donald Trump with a Democrat Congress, and that we know, and things like this are partially the reason why, because all these little Tracy's, sorry, I try to pronounce it, of you have Democrats controlling the House. Well, if the election is tied, well, Republicans wouldn't be able to win, but it's very unlikely that have enough delegations to give Biden the victory in this scenario. Hey, a second, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So it's 269. Is it possible? Yes. Now, the flip side, I'm sure we're going to hear if, well, Maine will just do the same thing. And it's possible they would, I think it'd be a little bit harder for them to do so. And the Republicans could technically go out there and petition it into a November referendum. Sorry, I thought I had that word for a sec. To stop the law from being enacted, whereas you can't really do the same thing in Nebraska. So overall, it'd be a lot more difficult for me to counter it than for Nebraska. To just do it and would give Trump a free electoral vote. You wouldn't have to focus in Nebraska's second district at all. You wouldn't would have to waste money in the state of Nebraska whatsoever, and you're probably going to win Maine's second district. So I wouldn't really waste a lot of money on that either, and you possible could sink Jared Golden and the process, and they're running a much stronger candidate. This time, it's possible, but still, Donald Trump could lose the entire Rust Belt and win the election. And that's what happens if he picks off Georgia, who leads. Which the polls have been doing. He picks off Arizona, which the polls have him doing, especially with RFK Jr. in the mix. He's also on the Nevada taking more votes. Taking more votes for Biden than he's taken for Trump. that would give him the victory. So this is absolutely huge. I hope it happens, and even if Maine does decide to go out there and they successfully find a way to cancel it out. None of what is lost at the end of the day, and, and Trump is much more likely to win the Maine at large, and he would take all the electoral votes in Maine. Then Biden is to win Nebraska at large. That's not going to happen. Trump's got to win. Trump's got to win it by around 20 points, if not more than it does seem. As if you know Kansas might be moving to the left, but it's not going to be competitive anytime soon. Either so, Donald Trump is going to win big in the great plans, and it would be better for the long run if Nebraska was to be a winner take all state. And he could say, well, you're just doing that because you want Donald Trump to win. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I mean, I don't hide my bias. We know that it would help Donald Trump. It would, which is why it's a good thing. And yes, I'm not going to sit back here and try to claim to be a principled conservative, who tries to have the only conviction of being a hypocrite, because the left, they're hypocrites. They know if they own it, they use power whenever they possibly can, and they don't care about the double standards thing as much. Well, Republicans should do the same thing, or who cares what Maine what Maine what Maine does make Nebraska win or take all, and then Maine try to do everything possible to stop Maine from becoming win or take all, because that would maximize it. And honestly, when it comes down to it all, that crucial, and they would be doing Trump and thus this country this disservice if they were not moving forward with this bill. And a support of the governor, hopefully it will get support of enough of the state legislature for it to end up happening, for it to be enacted. Now, do I want it to come down to this? No. But this is a ballot insurance policy. To have, you might say that Donald Trump is going to win Michigan. Because he's up in the polls there, and Trump is potentially going to gain among auto workers. Democrats are having problems with some of their own constituency in the state of Michigan. That's true. Trump very well could win Michigan, but you need as much insurance as possible. Wisconsin, I think Trump would win it. He's favored in the polls, uh, and polls usually underestimate Trump by a lot. And Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, that's another crucial. Uh, that's another. That's another crucial state. But I, but I, but I, ideally, you would have Nebraska be guaranteed to give all 5 of its electoral votes to Donald Trump, because that would raise his floor, because that would and it would help him go out there and have more insurance, and that's basically all there is to it. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below. Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Try MAGA 2024 out.